Part 2.
This is 2-2. Yeah, this is 2-2.
Alright, we'll try that again. Hey guys, this is chapter 2-2. We're going to call this chapter Mines and Bat. And the routing here is relatively simple. The first area, we're just going to demonstrate. The only two big problems are there are two tripwires that if we shoot too early, it doesn't kill the enemies. So we'll just demonstrate what happens when we actually blow them up early.
Sheva, you know where the mines are?
So the way that we tackle the tripwires here as well is that I'm going to shoot the first tripwire as Chris, and then, okay, I guess not.
No, I'm just showing if we do it wrong. If you shoot it too early, like, it doesn't kill the dogs, and same for here.
Yeah.
And then we have to deal with dogs.
Yeah, you have to deal with dogs if you do it wrong. So this is actually how you want to do it.
You know where the mines are?
Because the dogs get one shot by the tripwires on this difficulty, so you can pretty much just neutralize the threat immediately here. So there you go. And then Sheva's going to shoot the second one. Ideally, I wouldn't get stunned there, but not a huge deal. You want to also pick up this treasure over here,
Sheva,
and then come up behind him.
As Sheva, you just want to run to the end. Sometimes there'll be an extra enemy here. Sometimes you'll get hit, but pending good RNG, you won't get hit.
And you just want to shoot the tripwire that's right there for Sheva so that you can just run to the end.
There are two tripwires here. You can shoot this last one, but if you like flashy points, you'll get hit by this tripwire, which will knock you out of the cart and instantly put you in this dual action slot.
Saves you like half a second or something.
And it's kind of flashy. Alright, so before we do this next bit, the mines are a little bit precise movement because we're going to have to just try to get all the way to the end. A lot of people run this in the dark, which we realize is kind of RNG, and you're not going to get too many optimal lines. So what is going to happen is Cosmic is going to pick up the lamp. There'll be a short animation for this, while Sheva will go ahead. And Sheva going ahead is actually super important first because Sheva has a smaller model which allows her to creep by the enemies quicker. And Chris, with his bigger model, can go the opposite direction where the enemies swung at. It's important not to shoot a couple of enemies here because they're guaranteed plagas. So you're going to have to rely purely on movement. And what we say Resident Evil 4 movement, you're going to have to bait out attack, walk back, and then run forward again. So we'll try to get this clean. There's going to be a switch up ahead, so don't worry if you're low on HP. The Chris player should full heal you at the switch, so we'll just go ahead and demonstrate what this looks like pretty clean. Thanks for the follow, Mysterion. You're the best.
Oh boy, I got caught up on an invisible wall there. There we go, not a big deal. And then, yep, just following right behind Sheva there.
And this is the RE4 movement. You're going to want to bait out 2 attacks here. And then, perfect, just run around. So as a Sheva, you're going to be wanting to... We can just show that. We can just do that one more time. Yeah.
Okay. It's fine. Yep, let's do it one more time.
Since we need to practice it anyway. So so whether you go right or left of the enemies, you kind of just have to predetermine which has more space. And the Chris player, I don't know, you can see it from my perspective, but from his perspective, he'll probably go the other way, I'm imagining.
There's some times where you have to take sort of the same direction as Sheva. It really just kind of ends up on what side of the mine the enemy ends up on. Some of them will track Sheva enough that they kind of just go straight backwards instead of side to side. So you just have to take the same line that she does. But usually I think on the first enemy is where you take the opposite line. So we'll just do this.
And on normal, it's noted, because the grab range is bigger, the first enemy that's lunging at you, you should shoot him in the head. So let me just treat this as if this was normal. So what you do for the first enemy...
is not have a plaga here. But, you know.
Yeah. But if it was a normal, he wouldn't spawn the plaga right away because it takes more hits to spawn it. So
yeah, exactly.
Bait out the attacks here.
And then Chris can just go right ahead. Yep, ideally. And then here you just want to make sure that you drop the lantern to the left so that it doesn't interfere with the other player actually doing the winch. And then just run to the end here. This is a part where I have a controller plugged in just to do the QTE faster. So you can just see that actually turn to the Xbox 360 controls.
So just stay right there, don't move. So pretty much what you're going to want to do, if you still have handgun bullets at that point, is you want to spend all your handgun, because that's the last time, and the last time you could actually shoot it. Any more, you're going to waste time, and we'll be selling the handgun later this chapter. So what the Chris is going to want to do is wait until, when he's at the switch, wait until I'm right here. Because if he goes on ahead, there are guys who are go ahead. There are guys who are throwing dynamite, and if he goes too much ahead, the dynamites that were meant for him will actually explode on the Sheva, which you don't want to do. So the Chris player usually waits here a little bit. And pretty self-explanatory, run to the end, ideal pathing. Usually these guys should not give you a problem. You might get hit by a stray arrow every couple of runs, but that's Resident Evil 5. Cosmic is a legend, so he does that. And once again, when you go to a dual action, always make sure you go to the left as Sheva, right as Chris. Otherwise, you might get blocked, especially in the smaller elevators.
The that dynamite there that I blew up, it was just to make sure that it's like you can just kind of run to the end there, activate the elevator, but then you kind of run the risk of getting hit by the arrow or the dynamite. And as Chris or whoever is ahead, really, I just make it so that like I just try and shoot the dynamite while it's still in the enemy's hands so that he blows up, and then I just run to the elevator. This also gives the other player enough time to catch up to you, so there's no actual like real time loss to it. It just makes the area a little bit safer.
So this next bit coming up here is our first example of another generic speedrunning technique in Resident Evil 5. We call it a tactical reset. What it pretty much does is one of the players will be going on to a point ahead while the player before either protects the player, gets treasures, does weapons, does whatever he needs to. And when that player hits the check mark, the host will reset. In this case, it will be Chris. The host will reset, and you can do some inventory. You don't have to do inventory, but in this case, we're going to have to do inventory, and it'll bring the second player who didn't hit the check mark to the check mark. So we'll just go ahead and show it.
Yeah, and so as Chris, I'm going to do this, I'm going to explain it first and then I'll actually do it. In the locker to the left, when you enter the area and skip the cutscene, as Chris, you're going to pick up the Dragunov sniper rifle that's in there, and it has 7 bullets in it. Ideally, you only want to spend 3 here, and you're going to shoot the shirtless Magini that is heading towards the minigun. Shoot him down so that he doesn't get on the minigun. Shoot another Magini that has like a button-up shirt on, and cornrows. You'll headshot him, and then you want to shoot down a treasure that's right near the ladder that Sheva will be climbing to. And that's all the things that you need to do to set up the area for her to get clean lines through it. And then you want to head over to a treasure that's on the left-hand side, pick up the treasure in there, and then wait. Since you're host, you want to wait to hear the mark for tactical reset. So we'll just go ahead and show it now.
And all tactical resets, the timings are relatively the same, if not 1 second apart from each other. So.
Delta team, Chris here. We located Irving, but he got away.
So meanwhile, while Chris is shooting, the Sheva player will obviously just run straight through to the checkpoint.
Roger that.
There's a treasure that Cosmic shot for me. I will pick this up. There's sometimes a dynamic guy up here, and sometimes he cooks it enough just to hit you.
And waiting on you.
3, 2, 1. So the checkpoint is when you jump down that platform to the first one.
Yeah, and I should note before we go into this inventory, if you're waiting on a mark from the other player to do a tactical reset, just go into the pause menu and just hit restart. It'll be on the confirm menu, so you can just do it immediately, because otherwise, if you don't have the pause menu open, you'll have to wait for the checkpoint to complete saving. for like the prompt to show up. But if you just already have the menu up, you can skip all that. As soon as you see the words checkpoint pop up, you can just hit yes, and then it'll do the tactical reset. So you want to go over your inventory first, and then I'll do mine?
Your menu's shorter. I'll do mine after you. Go ahead.
Okay, so as host or as Chris, the first thing that you're going to want to do is sell this machine gun here, the VZ61, and you want to sell this. The 200 that you get from it is not really important. The ammo that's in it that you get from selling it is. So after you sell it, you want to just give that ammo over to the Sheva player, and then you want to upgrade the capacity on your Dragunov sniper rifle. And the reason that you want to upgrade the capacity is not only do you just get more shots, which is going to help in the fight coming up, but it's also going to totally reload the weapon entirely. So we had 4 shots, now we have 9 again. And that's really it. That's all you got to do.
So Sheva's menuing is a little bit harder. This is why, and longer. So that's why it's super important we got rid of the handgun bullets, because if let's just say, hold on, I'll show an example. If I sell this handgun right now, nothing will appear. But let's say I had handgun bullets. If I tried to sell the gun, I would have to, and then I would have to click on it, either give, remove, sell. But by having 0 bullets, you can sell the handgun, and you'll have a clean inventory. So from then on, you want to use not your mouse cursor, but you just want to use your arrow keys and enter. And you're going to upgrade the firepower 3 times and capacity 3 times. So you're just going to spam enter and spam the capacity 3 times. So you should end up with 90 damage and 80 capacity, and it's allowing me to upgrade right now, but that's because it's a New Game Plus file. It generally doesn't allow you to go past 90 and 80. So 3 times on firepower, 3 times on capacity. I also forgot to mention, before you do that, you actually have to sell your treasures as well. The hotkey for that is just go to organize, T, V. T is treasures, V is sell all. So it'll be very useful. It'll become a very useful hotkey once you go into the later chapters where you just sell treasures, buy rockets, or buy whatever guns you need to. So you're gonna want to do that as quickly as possible, and then ready up. This next bit, we're just running to the boss. This line's pretty clean, even though the enemy throws a dynamite right here. It's never blown up in our face. So for the boss, the reason why we upgraded our guns specifically is so that we can one-cycle the boss. We have a 2-second window to shoot it down from the sky before it starts crawling towards us. But with Chris's 9 bullets and my 80 bullets, that's exactly how much it needs to kill the boss.
So you always want to shoot it in the soft underbelly as Chris, and it should take 2 to 3 shots. So here we go. There we go.
And you're just gonna unload. We could show it again, what it looks like if we didn't upgrade it. So, yeah.
Yep, that's fine.
So if you didn't upgrade the boss and you didn't shoot it down properly, what the boss fight would look like is something like this.
There we go.
So you have one cycle, otherwise the boss starts standing up and it becomes almost invulnerable, and you have to start making your way around to here, which is kind of hard to do because his tail's moving around. So now
that's just not a good time. Yeah. So we'll do the actual cycle now.
Because only one person needs to go up ahead, you could take that time to grab the hand grenade and the herb right there. So Sheva, you just want to be running straight ahead?
Yeah. That was a really bad knockdown there.
And just in case he still lives, he shouldn't, but always forget to quick swipe your ammo. But 1 out of 10 times he'll survive past the initial round. And if he survives past the initial clip of machine gun ammo, it's your Chris player that didn't do his job.
Correct.
Alright, so that is chapter 2.